Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. This is Maggie. I'd like to introduce you my beautiful mega Maggie flower. That's what I'm gonna name it. It is a big one, but you have to remember also that it goes with the size of your centerpiece. Obviously, if your centerpiece is smaller, you're not going to put a huge flower like this on it. But if your centerpiece is big, well, then you're going to have to put a bigger flower on it, or else it would look really stupid. And because this is so wide, you can't put a small flower in the middle and just leave these white pieces here out. It would look very ugly. But anyway, and as far as the flower, because I had a lot of comments on the crochet groups about saying, well, a lot, no, a couple of comments saying that it was huge. It was really big. Yes, of course it's big. The table center is big. It's very long. It's almost a meter and a half, almost 2 meters actually. It's a meter and 1.7 meters. So I wasn't, and because of this, the wideness of the centerpiece, I cannot put a small flower there. It wouldn't be right. But of course, you can always cut down on petals. I will show you that as we're creating the flower. I'll show you how to cut down on the petals and make it smaller. And also, don't forget, I use size 4 yarn, which it's not thick, it's not thin, 100% cotton. It's Portuguese yarn, but for people in the States and Canada, you can find it in the natural and cream colors, beige, white, off-white, at Walmart, which is Aunt Lydia, size 3. It's a little bit thicker than this one, and I loved working with it. I did a lot of centerpieces with it. I absolutely loved it. But they don't have out here size 3, so I use size 4, and it's a little bit, not by much, a little bit smaller, thinner, I should say. Anyway, so on this Maggie flower, lime, the natural color, you can use white. This is off-white, cream, or whatever color you want to do yours with. I have the purple, and all my yarn is size 4. I have this beautiful purple, as you can see. And I also have the multicolored purple, which will, hold on a minute, which I had run out and had to buy yesterday. Multicolored purple, as you can see, it's beautiful purple, and it's just perfect. You know, it's got the combination of that purple in there also. And of course, it's got the combination of the lilac, beigey, cream that goes just perfect with this one too. And of course, the lime outstands the purple, so you can't go wrong. Anyway, it's all up to you. And of course, I have the multicolored yellow with the cream also for the middle to get the same touch from the flower, the side flowers here on the pattern. Okay, so I want to thank every single one of you for being here, for subscribing to my channel, for giving those beautiful comments, your likes, your shares. And thank you to my subscribers already for continuing with me, and welcome to the new ones. I hope you enjoy these designs and subscribe and create them yourselves. They make beautiful designs for your home, for gifts. You can't go wrong with it, absolutely. There was also a comment that was asked, one of the viewers on the groups, how to package it because she's selling some of her stuff. Okay, I do that quite often and mail it out quite often to different parts of the country. And I get a fair size depending on the size of the pattern that I'm shipping out. A nice box, a nice fair size box. And I do get that gift sheets of paper. They come by packages. You can buy it at the dollar store or whatever store that's cheaper in your country or your town. They come little packages, several different colors. You have white, pink, blue, whatever. Those sheets that usually we put in the present bags when we go to somebody's house or as a gift, we put those paper sheets inside of the bags as gifts. Well, I buy those and I wrap my patterns on it. I also get a little ribbon and make a nice little bow tie across the sheet, or in the pattern, on top of the pattern, between the sheet and the pattern, or out or in, depending on the size and what I'm sending out. And also those little, at the dollar store or whatever, Chinese store, whatever's convenient to you, those little cards, the thank you cards, and just write thank you and your name on it and put it inside the box and ship it out. It's simple as that, not complicated at all. Okay, so, and not to forget, I also want to thank and appreciate very much every single one of you in the groups that I'm in. I'm in 9 groups at the present moment. I was at 10 groups, but I left one group. I really was not impressed with certain comments and certain attitudes from people in that specific group, which I'm not going to mention. So I removed myself from that group completely. It's sad because some people that were in that group were really interested in my stuff, and they probably didn't get the chance to subscribe themselves to my channel. So I'm sure, there you go. I guess they lost the opportunity to create these beautiful patterns in my channel with the tutorial. So I strongly suggest for people that like my work, go to my channel, subscribe yourself, hit the notification bell, and at least you know that you won't lose anything that I'm creating, and you want to follow up, creating some of the pieces that I already have on the channel. I like to remind everybody that it's only been a month and a half that I put the channel up. I've been crocheting ever since I was 6 years old, and I used to do oh my God, thousands and thousands and thousands of them over the years. But I have many people always telling me that I should create a YouTube channel and put it up, and so people can see the beautiful art that I do, and so on and so forth. And there was none in English, so then I decided after all these years to create it. So thank you so much, everybody, again on the groups, for your lovely support, your comments. I really enjoy the groups I'm in right now. Some people are sending me invitations to baby stuff, like Crochet Baby. I do give my comments and my likes and even share. I don't add myself to those groups because I don't do baby clothes. I'm not interested on baby clothes, but I do appreciate absolutely the work that's put into it. That's why I always make my presence on commenting and liking and sharing. So thank you so much for these people also. Okay, we're going to get started. So let's get started, people. Thank you so much again. Okay, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, please. Thank you. Okay, everybody. So we're going to make the magic ring. Most of you know. For the beginners, well, here it is. Turn once, grab it, and that's it. And 1, 2, 3, going up. Tighten it a little bit here. For the ones that don't do the magic ring, you can do 6 stitch and lock it in, but I'll show you how to lock it in on this because we need those back loops. We need the front loops for the petals. Okay, so we're going to do 12 stitch in here, 12 chain stitch, and I'll meet you at the end. So we've done our 12. We're going to pull into our yarn. We're going to lock it in only on the back stitch here. We're going to go up 1, 2, and 3 on the same loop, same stitch. We're going to do another one. This row is going to be 2 per each stitch. Now we're only going to use the back loop. We're not using both in the front. We're using only this back one here. Okay, so we're going to do 2 inside of each one, the whole row, and I'll meet you at the end. And at the end we're going to lock it only on the back loop. Why are we only using the back loop? Because we need the front loops to do our petals. This is how we're going to use our petals. Kind of hard to, it's going to be stitched on, crocheted on, not stitched, crocheted on the front loops, okay? So make sure that you do not use both loops, just the back one. So this row, like I said, it's 2 per each. We leave the front loops alone. So again, we finished. You're supposed to have a total of 24 stitches. So we're going to grab it on the back loop. We're going to lock it in. We're going to go up 1, 2, and 3. On the same one, we're going to do another one. On the next one on the back loop, we're going to do 1 only. 1 chain stitch. The next one, 2 together. 1, 2 on the same place. Okay. On the next one, 1 alone. So this whole row is going to be 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 until the end. We're going to lock it on the back loop, and we're going to leave the front ones alone for the petals. Okay, so we're almost at the end. It's going to be a single one, single chain. We're going to lock it in on the back loop like that. Go up 3, 1, 2, 3. Same one. We're going to do another one. The next loop, I'm going to grab it on the back loop. 1. The next one, 1. And now the next one, we're going to add 2 on the same one. So this row is going to be basically similar to this one, except this one we did only 1 single. This one we're going to do 2 singles and 2 together, 2 singles, 2 together. I'll meet you at the end. We're going to lock it on the corner loop. Okay, so we finished with this one. We're going to lock it in on the back. We're going to go up 1, 2, 3. We're going to add another one on the same stitch. Then we're going to do single chain stitch on the back loops still. Single. Now this time we're going to do 3 singles and 2 together, using only the back loops. And it's going to be repeatedly throughout the row. So 2, 1, 1, 1. So 3 singles and 2 together. The whole row the same way. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so we've done this one. Now we're going to lock it in completely on both loops here. Okay, because this time, this row, we're not grabbing only the back loop, we're grabbing everything. 1, 2, 3 going up. Again, 1 in the same place, grabbing everything. We're going to do a single loop on the next one. We're grabbing everything, not just back loop. We're going to do 4 single stitches, chain stitches, okay? Separate ones. So on the one before we did 3, this one we're doing 4 and 2 together. So we have 1, 2, 3, one more. We're going to grab everything all together. So now we have 4 single. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to put 2 together. And this row will be the same thing all the way around. So grabbing, we're not leaving loops out. We're grabbing everything. 2 together at the beginning, 4 single stitch, 2 together, 4 single stitch, 2 together. I'll meet you at the end, and we're going to lock it in completely, the chains up here, the loops up there. Okay, so we finished this row. We're going to lock it in, grabbing both ends of the loops. Go up 3. Again, 1 on the same place. It's going to be 2 on the same place. We're going to go to the next one. And we're going to do 5 single chain stitches on 5 single groups. And we're going to add 2 on your 6th one. So nothing changes, we'll just keep adding more to it. So 2 together, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 single stitch, grabbing both loops, and on your 6th one here, 2 together. So this whole row will be the same. 2 together, 5 single. Okay, so we're going to do that, and we're going to lock it in at the end. Okay, everybody, so we finished doing the 7th row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to the 8th row, and we're grabbing only the back loop again. So we go up 3, grabbing the 2 loops when we attached, 2 on the same place again. Now we are only going to grab the back loops again. So 6 single, 2 together, 6 single, grabbing back loops only, 2 together. So we have 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, one more, 6 single, and the 7th one together. Back loops only, because we need these loops up front for the petals. 6 single, 2 together. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, before we get any further, let's tie this circle here tight enough because it's starting to bother me. Should have done that from the beginning. We are going to pass this through the loops in the bottom and the back, as you can see, and this is not going to go anywhere, and I use a little needle for this. It's easier to go through the loops back here. So once you do that, it's going to be safe and secure. You know it's not going to go anywhere. So just pass them through in the bottom. By the way, I use needle number 3 for my work because it's all yarn for size 4. Forgot to mention that at the beginning. This is secure enough. It went all the way around. You can cut your yarn now. Stretch it out a bit. And there it is. Perfect and no issues. Okay. So we're going to continue on doing our 6 single and 2 on the 7th. Okay, so we've locked in. We are going now to row number 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to start row number 9. Row number 9, we're going to grab, okay, put 2 inside the same one. We're going to grab both loops, okay? So this is row 9. We're grabbing both loops. And we're going to do 7 single stitch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 2 together on the same place. Okay, so 2 together, 7 single stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 2 together. Okay, we're going to do that all the way around until the end. Okay, my friends, so we've locked in what we're going to do now. I wanted to also say, if depending upon your yarn that you're using, it might curl up at the beginning, you know, like a hat. Don't worry about it, because once you put the petals in, it's going to straighten it out. It's going to be flat. So don't, if it starts curling up like this, do not worry. It's going to flatten it out once the petals are in. Okay, so we done our 9 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're going to cut our yarn. We are done with the flat part of this. And we're going to just go through the loops a bit here, because it's going to hide once we put our petals in. So don't stress over it. Just go through one loop in the middle, because we're going to hide the yarn afterwards. So no worries. Do a few of them and then just cut the excess out. Now we are going to do the middle piece here of the flowers. So whatever color you're using for your piece, for your center, we're going to give it a knot. Okay, 1 knot. Now you see the little loops here at the beginning. It's a little bit tricky because it's kind of a little bit hard to work with, but you get used to it. Go through, grab one of the loops, doesn't matter where. The loops that we left out, remember? So the very first one, already put your yarn behind so you can start hiding it. We're going to give 7 stitch, chain stitch, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We're going to go through the same one that we just did, and we're going to lock it in. We're going to do 7 chain stitch again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We're going to go to the next loop right after. So if you have to, like, you have to keep rotating your centerpiece in order to get it right. So can't miss the loops though. They have to be one right after the other, okay? And it's a little bit harder when you're working with a darker centerpiece, because to find the loops, it's a little bit harder to find it, but you get it. So let me just tie this yarn here. Again, go up 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the same loop. I want to hide my yarn. In the same loop back here, lock it in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Go into the next little loop beside it. Lock it in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this is going to be into the same one here. This is going to be repeatedly the same way all the way around. Okay? I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so we finished our last one. Okay, so we've done the 7 chain. We're going to lock in the same one. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're going to lock it right on the beginning where we started. Whoops. Well, that didn't help. It's kind of hard to get it through. It would have been much easier if it was like a lighter color to see the loops, but I'm working with dark, so that's okay. If you want beauty on things, well, you got to work around it. Now I'm going to grab a smaller needle just to get it through the loop here, because my stitch is always so very tight. Now I'm going to cut my yarn. For some of you that are using the same color and you want your middle to be bigger, the same color, larger, then you would jump directly to the loop in the back and you would go bigger. I'm changing colors because now I'm using the yellow. Okay, now it stays like it looks weird like that, but don't forget, once the other ones go in, it all crumples up together and it stays nice and firm. Okay, so I'm gonna get my yarn ready for the next round, which is the same thing. We're gonna go through the loops again. I want to hide this already because I don't feel like coming back to it. I like to get rid of the stuff from the beginning so I don't have to deal with it anymore. So I'm going through the loops. I'm gonna tie it in one of the loops here so it's secure. It's not going to go anywhere at all. And get it through here again. You're sure that your stuff is not going to come apart because it's going to be nice and hidden through the loops. Okay, so pretty much done with hiding it. Now we're going to get the yellow. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do the 7 stitch through every loop like we just finished doing with the white one. So we are going on the second row. Any loop would do. You don't have a specific loop, just go in any of them. Lock it in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Go into the same one. Don't stretch it too much though, so the loop doesn't become too loose. It's a little bit hard to work with, but you know what? It is what it is. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If things were just too easy, then the patterns wouldn't come out as beautiful. I mean, there's beautiful, easy patterns, don't get me wrong, but you know, a little bit of work in goes a long way. 4, 5, 6, 7. Into the same loop again, and let's hide this piece of yarn back here. Into the same loop, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now we go into the next loop, so it's repeatedly the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Back in the same loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now we go into the next loop. Okay, so do that all the way around. Okay, so we finished our last one, as you can see here. We are gonna lock it in to the next one so it stays nice and tidy together. Go through the middle here. And I'm gonna cut my yarn because I am done with the colors here. I'm gonna go into my petals. Now, let me explain something to you. See how it closes up so beautifully. Now, if you wanted to go bigger, on the centerpiece endless petals. Like I have 3 with the green, 4 rows of petals. But if you wanted to do only 3 rows of petals, then you would use this loop here, which is the 3rd one, or I'm sorry, this loop here. You would use it again to create the center here. You would continue on with your yarn, go up, and then do the same thing on the next loop. But I didn't do that because my client wanted a lot of petals on this flower. So in order to have a lot of petals, I needed to stop the center and start creating my petals. Okay, so like I said, if you want, because my intention was to grab either the green and do this around it, which would have looked beautiful, by putting the green the same way as this now on this row. It would have looked stunning. But she didn't want that. She wanted just like that and wanted more petals in. If you didn't want to do the green, then you could have done another row of yellow or another row of white. But I'm getting into my petals. So for those of you that are not continuing to do this and doing the petals, we're going to create the petals exactly in our loops here. Okay, so let me get prepared for it. Okay, my friends, we are going to create the petal on the row here. Okay, like I said, if you want to go bigger on this, you can go right to the next row, continue on the next row with these. Put green, which would have fantastic, yellow, white, whatever. But since my client wanted lots of petals, so I'm going with the petals. Okay, and every petal has to be started and it's done individual, one by one. So it has to start right next to the loop, one to another, and it takes 4 space loops, 4 loops to create them. It's going to be 2 per loop, 2 stitch per loop. So we are going to give it a knot. Okay, it's a little bit hard to start off, but you can do it. So we grab any loop you would like. Here, I'm going to do it right next to mine because I will get it out of the way already. Go in any loop to start off, lock it in. Grab your little piece of yarn already, bring it to the back so you can hide it already. Okay, we're going to go up 1, 2, and 3. On the same loop, we're going to do another stitch. So 2 stitches on the same loop, and we're going to go to the next loop right after. I know it's a little bit hard to see because this is a dark color, but we can manage. It's only hard at the beginning, once you get used to it. And it's harder for me because I have to hold my hands on the table in order for you guys to see. Because obviously I wouldn't be stitching like this, right? I'd have it up my chest. Next space, 2 more stitch, chain stitch in it. We're going to have a total of 8 using 4 loops in the bottom. So we have 3 used already. Stretch it out for you to see. Whoops. So we have 3 loops that we used back here. We're going to use, so 2, 4, 6. Next loop, 2 more on the same loop. Total of 8. So we're going to use 4 loops in the bottom. Okay, we're going to go up 3, 1, 2, and 3. we're going to turn our work on the same place. We're going to do another stitch. We'll end up with 2, and then we go single stitches until the end. At the end, we're going to add 2 in the same place. So you're supposed to have a total of 10 on this row. 10 chain stitch. We're on the last one. Make sure that you get it, because I know it's hard sometimes. We forget about that last one. Okay, so we're going to have 10 of them. Here is 8, the first row, 10. Go up 3, 1, 2, and 3. We're going to create another one on the same loop, but we're not going to close it in. We're going to leave it on the needle. We're going to go to the next space, and now we're going to close it in. Next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The last 3, we're going to leave it on the needle and close it at once. So 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to lock in. So you're supposed to have like 4 on your needle, 4 loops. Close it at once. Go up again. 1, 2, and 3. Turn your work. 2, 3. We're on our 4th row. We're going to go until the 5th row. So we're going to bring it in. Don't close. Go to the next one. So we did one on the same loop again. So we're going to close all 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to leave it on the needle. And we leave all 3 on the needle. And I go up 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're on our last row, so we are not going to go on the same one. We're going to go to the next one. We don't close it. 1, 2. So you have 4 already. And 5. And we close it up. And here it is. And there it is. So don't forget, when you're doing it, you have to do it right next to the loop next to it. I am going to repeat it one more time just to make sure you guys got it. Okay, so we're going to redo it again to make sure. So right next to the paddle that we created, might as well get this over here. So we're going to get it into our loop, lock it in, go up 3, 1, 2, and 3. We're going to do 2 more, one more inside of the same one. So that's 2 in the same one. We go to the next loop right after and create 2 more in there. And then we go into the next one and create 2 more in there. Not 2 more, I mean 1 more in there. It's 2 per each. So we're going to use 4 loops in the bottom, and I have a total of 8. So 2 more in this one. So 2, 4, 6, 8. We're going to go up 3. 1, 2, and 3. Turn our work. It's much easier to work when it's up, right? Same space. We're going to do another one. So we're going to have 2 in the same one. And then the rest is single until the end. We're going to create 2 on the same one. And you're supposed to have 10 stitches, 10 chain stitch on the second row. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2 per each. Go up 3. 1, 2, and 3. Turn our work. On the same one, we are going to add another one without closing the third row and on. We don't close at the end. We need to start cutting down stitch. So next one, single one. Now when you have 3, you close, and then single, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The other ones we don't close. We're going to do the other 3 without closing. 1, 2, actually, yeah. So okay, so we have 3 and we have 2, the last one. So we're going to have 4 on the needle. We lock it up. We go up 1, 2, and 3. Turn our work. Now we're going to go right in the same one here where we close up the loop. We don't close. We go to the next one. 3 on the needle. We close up. 1, 2, 3. Now we don't close up. 1, 2, and so we have 4 on the needle. Now we close up. Turn our work, go up 1, 2, 3. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th row, which is the last row. Now we go 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on your needle. You close it up, and there it is. And then you're gonna cut your yarn. And then just pull through. You don't have to do too much to it because we still have to go around every single one of them at the end so they can curl up a bit as leaves. So don't worry about this, because we have to do single small stitches all around at the end, like I've done here. As you can see, all of them have to have small stitch all around them so they can stay nice and stiff. Okay, my friends, so this is pretty much it. Let me close in a bit. This is pretty much it. You have to do the petals one next to each other on the little loops, and just if you get mistaken somewhere, just go back to the last one and redo it again. Pause, redo it, because I know it can be a little bit touchy, but you'll do fine. I'll meet you at the end when I'm going to do the petals on this row here, which we're going to have to start in the middle so the petals can stick between the two in the front. Okay? Okay, everybody, so now we are going to start the second row of the petals, which is the one right behind the first one we did, right? For those of you that are doing it, because I'm sure there's going to be some of you that are not going to do as much petals. You're probably going to do this centerpiece on the second row and then just do the petals on the third one. So I've already started so I can get a good start because of the video, not to be too long. So you would do, you'd grab 4 of them here in between the petals so they can center it between the petals that you've done. And in my case, I'm just gonna go right after the other petal that I did. So basically, and then you try to hide your yarn to the back. And it's the same thing. You're gonna do 2 on this one and the next one, because we're gonna use 4 little spaces, right? Like we did the first petal. So it's going to be 8 chain stitch, 2 per each little space here. I know it's a little bit hard, especially when there's more petals to be added on. So it gets a little bit harder to get it, but nothing we cannot do, right? So trying to hide this little yarn in the back at the same time, so it makes it a little bit more difficult, but we manage. So we've taken 3 spaces already from here. Now we got to take 1 more, so it's 4 space that we got to use to have 8 chain stitch, 2 per each. We've done the 8, 2, 4, 6, 8. We turn our work. We go up 3. One more in the same place. Next one. So we're supposed to have a total of 10 on this row, the second row. 10 chain stitch. So 1 per each now. Gets to the end, we're going to add 2 on the last one. So we can have the 10 chain stitch. We turn around again, we'll go 1, 2, and 3. Again on the same place. This time we don't close. We grab the next space, and now we close at once. Then again, 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to leave it on, leave it on, and we're going to close out. So we have 4 on the needle. Turn our work. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3. We're on our 4th row. We're not gonna do 2 in the same place. We're just gonna go over the next stitch. Leave it on the needle. Take out the 3. 1, 2. We leave on the needle, and we leave on the needle, and we close out. Turn around. 1, 2, and 3. Whoops. Leave last row because it's 5 rows. Leave, leave, and your last one, which is 5 on the needle. Close it at once, give it a knot, cut it, and there you go. So follow the same way. Just back it up a bit. Follow the same way. Use the 4 space under, 8, 10, and then 3 together, close together, and then you continue on. So it's 5 rows. We're going to do that until the end. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, my friends, so now what we're going to do is we are going to make small stitches all around the first petals, even the second one with different color if you like. I'm not doing it to the 3rd one that we're going to create here because we still have 1 more row of the purple petals like this one. Here, I'm not going to create the edges. I'm not going to do the stitches around the edges on the 3rd one here because I wanted for it to stay flat against the petal, the green petal in the back. And by doing this stitch on here, it's what's going to make them curve a bit. Okay, so we're going to do this first one. So you would grab any one for that matter. You start from the bottom and just a simple small stitch all around until the end. Try to hide this yarn already. Kind of hard to work when you have so many petals in the way. So you would just go basically in between the first stitch that goes up. You don't grab them. You're not going to grab them in here. Let me get a close-up because I don't want you guys to. So because I have such a tight stitch, I am going to use a smaller needle so it can fit through better. But for people to have a wider stitch, so you would basically go inside of the middle of the stitches and not on the inside of the stitch, if you know what I mean. So you don't have like a gap, and then you'd go here in the middle of the separation of the stitch, and then again back into the middle of the stitch, and just closing like that, and then going again, just like that, and then again. And you don't want to tighten it up too much either, because you don't want it to really curve. So it's just to give it that nice little leaf curve on the look, you know. So basically this is what it is. Okay, so we're going to do this all the way around the paddle, and at the same time your yarn from the paddle that we finished cutting it, you can hide it already at the same time. Okay, so nothing to it. Very, very simple. And it's going to give it that little pretty look, finished look all the way around. So you're going to do that to your petals. And we are also going to create the petals. Okay, everybody, so like I was saying, so we did the 2 rows, okay? We did the closing around, so it can curve up a bit. And now we are starting on the last row, the other petals, which I'm not going to do around it because I don't want it to curve up. I want it to stay flat like this one here on the green. Okay, so I don't want it to, hold on a minute. So I'm not going to work around the last row because I want it to stay flat on the green petal leaves, and just curved up a bit the 2 sections here. Okay, so the third row of petals, I've started already 2 of them, as you can see. You pretty much do the same as here. You go in any one of them, and it's almost the same, just changes up a bit because they're a little bit bigger. So instead of starting off with 8, we start off with 10. Okay, so when we're going to do it, I'm going to bring it closer. When we're going to do it, we're also going to skip 1 space here in between them. Okay, just ready to let you know. So we have 1 space here, we go to the next one. So we're going to do 2 inside. Should I get you here on camera because I have a habit of not looking and I move around a lot. So we go to the next space, 2 inside. And the next space. So we're going to have a total of 10. So nothing changes. It's well, let me just confirm that because sometimes I get carried away. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's go back here again. So we are going to do, hold on a minute, it's going to be 10 just the same, it just changes up the stitch a bit. So the first 2 is 2 inside. Get you closer. So we start up 2, 2, now we're going to go 1, next space 1, and next space 2. Thank God I looked over, I was so used to the other ones in the bottom. And another one inside. So it's going to be a total of 10. So 2 on the same, 2 on the same, 1 single, 1 single, 2 on the same, 2 on the same. We're going to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces that we're using down here. So we go up 3, 1, 2, and 3. We go on the same one, on the next one, on the next one, next one, next one, and it will be 2 at the end on the same one. And here at the end 2. So We're going to go up 3, 1, 2, and 3. We're going to go in the same one, but we're not going to close up. So third row, we don't close up. We close it after we have 3 on the needle. Single, next space, single, next space, single, single, single again, and again, and again. Okay, so we have 2 on the same one. Single, single, and they're all single. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 on the third row. We turn around, or you go up 3 automatically, as you wish. 1, 2, 3. We're on our fourth row. We go in the same place. Oops, we don't close it. We leave it on the needle. Next space, we close it. Then everything else is single until the end. Okay, go up 3. And we're doing 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going on our 5th. We don't do on the same one the 5th one. We go to the next space. Okay, your 5th row, next space. Oops, and leave it on the needle until you get 3 of them. Then you lock it up. This paddle has 6 rows. It's 1 row more than the other paddles we did at the beginning. This we leave on the needle, and we close it up. 1, 2, and 3. Next space we're going to leave on the needle. 1, 2. So now you got 3, and you got 4, and you got 5, and you close them now all together. And that's it. Okay. So very simple again. Let me just back it up a bit. So now you're going to create your next paddle. You're going to skip 1. Get closer. So you're going to skip this one. You're going to go into the next one. You're going to do 2 inside. The next one, 2 inside. You're going to do a single, another single, 2, and 2. Okay? I'll meet you at the end. Okay, my friends, so we are doing the last leaf, petal, if you want to call it, on the border, which is the last row of the flower. And we're going to start it right in between the petal here. So you look more or less, and you go in between in the middle of the petal. So we are going to hide this back yarn at the same time. Just pull my yarn here. So we go up 1, 2, and 3. On the same one, we're going to do another one. The next, get our yarn here. The next single stitch, next one, single, next one, single. So we're going to have 3 single stitch. The next one we're going to have 2 on the same place. 1 more in the same place. Whoops, I think I made a mistake here already. Hold on. So 3 single. Next space, that went into the same space. Okay, so next space we're going to have 2. So 2 together, 3 single, 2 together, and now 3 single again. 1, 2, 3. Next space, 2 together. So we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We are going to turn our work or go up 3 as you wish. 1, 2, 3. On the same place, we're going to do another one. Next space, single, 2 single, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 single, and the last one we're going to do 2 on the same place. So you're going to have a total of 14 stitches on this second row. Go up 3 or turn your work. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're not going to close in. We are going to do in the same place. We don't close. Next space, we close in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we're let me check something. Okay, so we are going to hold it now on the needle. 1, 2, and on the last one. That's me in the stitch, always tight. No. Okay, so you're going to have 4 on the needle to close. So you close it and you go up 1, 2, and 3. Turn your work on the same one. We're going to create another one. We don't close. We go to the next one, and now we close. Next one, single stitch, single, 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 now we're going to leave it on the needle, the last 3. So 2, and 3. So you're going to have 4 on the needle again. Close it up. 1, 2, 3. Turn your work. So we are 1, 2, 3, 4. We're on our 4th row. We're going to go back into the same one. Not closed. Next one. Hold on a minute. Okay, so we have to leave it on the needle. The 2 on the same place. We're going to go to the next one. Close it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 single stitch. Now we don't close up the last 3. 1, 2, and 3. Close it all together. And that's how it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So 1, 2, and 3. We're going to go back on the same place. We don't lock it in. Next space. Now we lock in. Now we're going to do 3 single. 1, 2, 3. And now we're going to leave it on the needle. 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to lock it in. We're going to do the last row. This row has 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So 1, 2, 3 up. We are not going to do in the same place. We're going to go directly into the next space. Leave it on the needle. 1, 2, 3, and the last one. So we have 5 on the needle, which is 5 stitch, and we're going to lock it up, and we're done. So it's pretty much going to stay in the center of the underneath petals. Okay, so on our second green one, we are not skipping space. We are going to go directly into the next space, which is right here, and we're going to continue doing as we just did. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Again on the same space, 3 single stitch, chain stitch, 1, 2, 3. Next one will be 2 on the same place, and then 3 single stitch again. 2, 3, and the last one, 2 stitch on the same place. So this is pretty much what it's going to be, my friends. We're going to finish up. Now, on your last petal you're going to do, you don't need to cut the yarn. You're going to continue on when you finish at the end here with your yarn, right? You don't cut it, you just continue, and you go and you do that small stitch like we did here. Don't tighten it too much so it doesn't curve too much, but you do want a little bit of a curve on the last petal, the green one. So don't make it a little bit looser than the regular. A little bit looser than these ones here, okay? From these petals. So you continue on, don't cut your yarn, your last green petal, and you continue on doing all that small stitch all the way and then through the other ones, okay? So I'm going to continue mine and I'll show you how I stick mines into the pattern. So if you want to do the same, you can go ahead, or if you have another method, then you can go ahead too. So I'll just continue my work here, meet you up in a bit. Okay, everybody, so we pretty much finished doing the mega flowers. So you're going to center it the way you would like it to be centered on your centerpiece, like I did here. Now I like to hot glue it first because it's going to secure when I'm going to stitch in from the other side, the back side, the edge here, and a few on the leaves. And there's 12 green petal leaves. So you separate it in half, which is 6, 6. You put like 2, 4, 6, and then you leave the other 6 out. So you can have a balanced flower, okay? So I use the hot gun, and I don't want it to move anywhere. So in order for it not to move, so I can have it stitched in afterwards, I like to pretty much hold it and glue it in. I'm also going to glue a little bit of this flower here, so I can just stick right between the petals like that, just a few couple of them so they don't separate. And so you just glue a little bit. Nothing's going to come out of place. Here and there, it doesn't have to be all over because you're going to stitch it in anyway. You don't have to stitch the whole thing, just a few drops of stitches here and there. So you just want to make sure that everything is going to like stay in place. You can also hot glue a bit of the purple so the leaves can stay in place also. You don't have to, I mean, it's optional. I like to do it because it secures everything in place. So just gonna hold that there. Make sure that all of this stays there. And this is going to be pretty much it for this tutorial on this braided table center. I'm just going to continue my work, glue the other side, stitch it up. I will have the pictures and a little video right after this so you can see what it looks like. I'm just going to put it in my counter. I want to thank every single one of you that have been with me from day one. Since you know this YouTube channel is very young still. It's only about a month and a half, 2 months I have set it up. Thank you to my subscribers, to the newcomers. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for subscribing. To the newbies that are just checking in. And if you enjoy my work, please don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell notification for new uploads. Thank you for the likes, the shares, the comments. To the people in the group, I am in 10 groups. I thank you so much, every single one of you, for your beautiful comments and your likes and your shares, and also for coming to the YouTube and subscribing on my channel. Thank you, everyone, from the bottom of my heart. This really makes me very happy that everybody appreciates my work. Thank you, and I hope to see you on the next tutorial. And please stay safe. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.